Hi, welcome once more to Mr. Max. In this lesson, we are going to revise from now Northwest Province, September 2021. 2021 Northwest Province, September 2021. Graphs and function, that is question number 4 and 5. Okay, so listen very carefully. Question number 4, September 2021 Northwest Province. Question number 4. The graph of f of x is equal to p raised to x where p is greater than 0. So there is a function given like this. F of x is equal to p raised to x, and it is given that p is greater than 0. That means p is a positive number. Okay. Sketched below, the point a minus 3 comma 27 over 8 is a point on f. So there is a graph sketched like this, and there is a point here given, that is a, and that is minus 3 comma 27 over 8, minus 3 comma 27 over 8, that is the point a. This is the point a. Okay, and that one is f of x. This is f of x. F of x is p raised to x. Okay, now based on that one, we have to answer the remaining questions. What is the first question? Question number 4.1. Show that p is equal to 2 over 3. So it's a very simple question. You have to show that the value of p is 2 over 3. Okay, so how can you show that the value of p is 2 over 3? It's a simple question. One point is given, minus 3 comma 27 over 8. So let's write the equation once more. Y, f of x is the same as y. So y is equal to p raised to x. Now what you have to do? You have to substitute the value of x as minus 3 and y as 27 over 8. So y is equal to, that is 27 over 8 is equal to p raised to x. What is the value of x? Minus 3. Okay, so p raised to minus 3 is equal to 27 over 8. So what about p raised to 3? So here I have to find the value of p. That is the question. So how can you find the value of p from here? This p raised to minus 3, if I want to write it as a positive exponent, what must I do? I have to write this p raised to minus 3 in the denominator. So how can you write that one? 27 over 8 is equal to 1 over p raised to positive 3. Am I right? Here it is p raised to minus 3. If I want to write it as a positive exponent, I must write it in the denominator, p raised to positive 3. So cross multiply this one like this, p raised to, so it is 27 times this p raised to 3 is equal to 1 times 8. Or from here, what is p raised to 3? 1 times 8 is 8. Okay, so 27 times, this is multiplication. So if I want to take this 27 to the other side, it is supposed to be division. So it is 8 over 27. Okay, so now I showed this step. Okay, so after some time, after you do many questions, you don't want to write all of these steps. Okay, you have to understand p raised to minus 3 is 27 over 8. Directly you can write, therefore p raised to positive 3 is 8 over 27. There is no need to write all these steps. Okay, so p raised to 3 is equal to 8 over 27. So what is p? Therefore p is cube root of, p raised to 3 is 8 over 27. So p is cube root of 8 over 27. Check in your calculator. Cube root of 8 over 27. Cube root of 8 is 2 and cube root of 27 is 3. So it means that the value of p is 2 by 3 or 2 over 3. So here the value of this p is 2 over 3. So now what is the equation of f of x? We can write 2 over 3. The value of p we got as 2 over 3. So 2 over 3 raised to x. So let me write that one there. Therefore f of x is 2 over 3, because now we know the value of p is 2 over 3. Okay, so it is 2 over 3 raised to x. Okay, so that is question number 4.1. Now let's move to the next question, question number 4.2. So what is question number 4.2? Question number 4.2. What is that question? Calculate the coordinates of not this question paper. Write down the equation of f inverse in the form of y is equal to. So you have to find the equation of f inverse in the form of y is equal. That's a frequent question. F inverse. So this is f of x. So let me write f of x once more. You know f of x is the same as y. Y is equal to 2 over 3 raised to x. To find f inverse, what you are supposed to do? You have to swap x and y. This y you have to write it as x is equal to 2 over 3 raised to this x you have to write it as y. To find f inverse you have to swap x and y. Do you remember that one? Okay. So now we can't leave the answer. Actually this is f inverse. Okay. But we can't leave the answer like this. Is not a standard form. Standard form y is equal to. So how can you write y is equal to? Y is equal to, you have to apply logarithm. Okay. Log x to the base this 2 over 3. So f inverse of x is y is equal to log x to the base 2 over 3. That is question number 4.2. Now excuse me. Now let's go to the next question. 4.3. Question number 4.3. So what is f inverse of x? Let me write it somewhere here. F inverse of x is equal to log x base to the base 2 over 3. Okay, that is f inverse of x from question number 4.2. Now 4.3. Sketch the graph of f inverse indicating on your graph in the intercepts with the axis and one other point. So you have to sketch this f inverse of x graph. Okay, so now let me write that equation. This y is equal to f of x is the same as y. Y is equal to the value of p we got as what is the value of p? 2 over 3 in the previous question. So it is 2 over 3 raised to x. Now this is the y-intercept. How can you find the y-intercept? The value of x is 0. So at y-intercept the value of x is equal to 0. So now in this equation if you substitute the value of x as 0, 2 over 3 raised to value of x as 0. Any number raised to 0 is 1. So it means that the value of x is 0 and the value of y is 1. So it means this point the y-intercept is 0, 1. Okay. Now here the question is to draw the inverse of that one. So to draw the inverse, inverse how can you find? You have to swap x and y value, is it not so? Okay. So here it is 0, 1. So in the inverse graph it is 1, 0. X 1, y 0. That means this point. That is 1, 0. You swap x and y to find the inverse. Then minus 3, 27 over 8. So the new point is going to be 27 over 8, minus 3. X value is minus 3 and y value is 27 over 8 means 3 point something. Okay, so it will come somewhere here. So that point is 27 over 8, minus 3. And now you have to join that 2 points. And that is f inverse of x graph. Okay. So you have two coordinates 0, 1 and this one. So you have to swap it around and plot those 2 points. Okay. And join that points and that is f inverse of x. So here you can see it's easy to understand this graph is decreasing graph and f inverse also you can see that it is a decreasing graph. Okay, so when you find the inverse of a decreasing graph, the inverse is also is going to be a decreasing graph. Okay, so that is question number 4.3. Now let's move to the next question number 4.4. Okay, graph K is obtained by, so there is a new graph K. Okay, so and what is that K? K is obtained by reflecting Okay, there is a new graph K, and that what is that one? Reflecting F about the y-axis. So this K is a new graph, and what is that K? Reflect this f of x based on the y-axis. So what is the equation of f of x? What is the equation? Let me write the first. Let me write the equation of f of x. Okay, what is f of x? F of x is equal to p. You know that it is 2 over 3 raised to x. So f of x is the same as y. Y is equal to 2 over 3 raised to x. That is f of x. Okay. Now this question is K, there is a new graph K is obtained by reflecting F about the y-axis. So if the reflection is based on the y-axis, reflection based on y-axis, what you are supposed to do? You have to change the sign of x. If the reflection is based on the y-axis, you have to change the sign of x. That means y is equal to 2 over 3 raised to minus x. This positive x, you have to change it as negative x when the reflection is based on the y-axis. Okay, so let's note this one also, that is not a part of this question. In case if the reflection is based on the x-axis, what you are supposed to do? You have to change the sign of y. Okay, if the question is reflection based on the x-axis, you have to change this y, you have to write it as negative y. Okay, but here in our question y-axis, so you change the sign of x as minus x. Okay, now here look at that question once more. Write your answer having positive exponent. You have to write this one as positive exponent. So how can you write that one as positive exponent? It's very easy. Try to understand like this. Y is equal to 2 over 3 raised to minus x. If I want to write this one as positive exponent, I just can write like this. 3 over 2 raised to positive x. Then it's positive exponent. What I did, this 2 over 3 I swap it around, or I found the reciprocal 3 over 2. Then I can write it as positive x. Okay, so try to understand like that. Okay, otherwise actually it's nothing there, it's not a magic or anything. We are applying the exponential rules. Okay, so 2 over 3 raised to minus x. Okay, that is the same as 2 raised to minus x divided by 3 raised to minus x. Am I right? Take this 3 raised to minus x to the numerator, it is positive 3 raised to x. Okay, take this 2 raised to minus x to the denominator, it is positive 2 raised to x. So this one 3 raised to positive x numerator, this one take it to the denominator, that is 2 raised to x. So here both the powers are x, so how can you write that one? 3 over 2 the whole raised to x, that is this one. Okay, so that actually this one is the exponential rule. Okay, so this is the exponential rule behind that one. Okay, there is no need to write all these steps. Now you are in metric. Okay, so 2 over 3 raised to minus x, you can write it as 3 over 2 raised to positive x. Okay, so now that is question number 4.4. now let's move to the next question, 4.5. okay, question number 4.5. what is that question? Question number 4.5, for which values of x? That means you have to find the values of x. And what is the condition? Log x to the base 3 over 2 is less than or equal to 0. You have to find the values of x. You have to find the values of x. And what is the condition? Log x to the base 3 over 2 is less than or equal to 0. Okay, so log x to the base 3 over 2 is not a function, that one. It's a logarithmic function. So we can write that log x to the base 3 as a y, because we know that that one is a function. So y is equal to log x to the base 3 over 2. We know that that is a logarithmic function. So how can we write this one as an exponent? How can you write this one as an exponent? This x, you studied the logarithmic rule. Okay, so I'm going to apply that logarithmic rule. This x is equal to this base 3 over 2 raised to this number y. The same thing is this one. Okay, here I wrote it as an exponential method. Okay, so x is equal to 3 over 2 raised to y. So both of these are same thing. Okay, now let me explain something, then after that we will come to the answer. Okay, so when y is equal to 0, if I substitute the value of y as 0, what is the x value? What is x value? X is equal to 3 over 2 raised to y as 0. I substitute the value y as 0. 3 over 2 raised to 0. Any number raised to 0 is 1. So it is 1. So what is the coordinate? Therefore the coordinate is x value is 1 and the y value is, what is y? 0. I substitute the value of y as 0. Okay. Now again, when y is equal to 1, now I am going to substitute the value of y as 1. Okay, in which equation? This one. This is our equation. Okay, so here we got the x value 1 and y value 0. Okay, now when y is equal to 1, what is the x value? 3 over 2 raised to 1. The y value I have to substitute as 1. 3 over 2 raised to 1 is 3 over 2. 3 over 2 means 1.5. Am I right? Okay, so now what is the coordinate? X value is 1.5 and the y value is, y as substitute as 1. Okay, so we got two coordinates for this graph. Y is equal to log x to the base 3 over 2. This one graph is the same as this one. Now for this one we found two coordinates. Let's try to draw that graph. Okay, then let's see what is happening there. Okay, so one is, first coordinate is 1 comma 0, x1 y0. That means this is 1 comma 0. This point is 1 comma 0. Okay, now the other one is x 1.5 y positive 1. This is, assume that this is 2. 1.5 is on the middle. This is 1. Okay, this is the y-axis. Okay, so 1.5 1, that is this point. This point is 1.5 comma 1. Now we can draw a graph connecting that 2 points like this. Can you see that? Okay, so and that graph is, they call it as log x to the base 3 over 2. So this graph is log x to the base 3 over 2. You understand? Okay, now what is our question? Don't forget our question. What is our question? You have to find the values of x where that graph is less than or equal to 0. So less than, a graph is less than 0 means what? It is below x-axis. Okay, so you have to find the x values. You have to find the x values where the graph is less than 0, less than or equal to 0, below x-axis. Below x-axis where? From this point to this side, this is below x-axis. You have to find the values of x at that below x-axis, less than or equal to 0. So you can see that what are the values of x? It is between 0 and 1. Can you see that? When the graph is below x-axis, less than or equal to 0 means the graph is below x-axis. Below x-axis is called negative. Okay, so below x-axis, this is the part. Okay, not this one. This is above x-axis. So below this part, what is the x value at this point? For example, this point, what is x value here? At this point, what is x value here? At this point, what is x value here? That means below x-axis, the x values are between 0 and 1. So 0 less than x less than or equal to 1. We can't include 0 because this is an logarithmic graph and it won't cross this y-axis. So that is why I didn't include that 0. Okay, but we can include 1 because it is less than or equal to 0. Here y is 0. Okay, so between 0 and 1 when log x is less than 0. Okay, so the answer is 0 less than x less than or equal to 1. So guys, that is question number 4.5. Now let's move to next question, question number 5. Okay, let's move to the next question, question number 5. Question number 5. And what is that one? the graph of f of x is equal to ax square plus bx minus 10. So there is a graph f of x given, and what is that one? Ax square plus bx plus, bx minus 10, not bx plus c, it is bx minus 10. And there is another function g of x is given. What is that one? M over x plus p plus q. So there are two equations given, one is f of x and the second one is g of x. So here you can see that ax square means x square, so it's a quadratic function, okay, and m divided by x plus p, x variable is in the denominator, so it's a hyperbolic function. And also the graph of that function, both the functions are also drawn there, okay. So first of all, let me draw that two graphs, then based on that one I will explain the remaining things, okay. So there is this is the x-axis. Okay, so I try to draw a rough graph here, both the f of x and g of x. This one you can see that this is hyperbolic graph. The one part is here and the other part is here. This is a hyperbolic graph, and this one is a quadratic graph, that is this one, f of x, okay. So this one is this is f of x, and the other one is g of x, hyperbolic function, okay. Now based on this one you have to answer the remaining question here. This point D is a x-intercept and another x-intercept, the x value is directly given as y, okay, and 5. And E, you can see that this point E is a turning point of that parabola, okay, and the x value at that point, turning point, is 3 and the y value is k, okay. So these are the given things, and you have to find the answers of the remaining questions based on this information, okay. What is the first question? 5.1. What is that question? Write down the coordinates of the y-intercept of f. You have to find the y-intercept of f. This is the f graph. F is the parabola, okay, the quadratic function. So this one is the f of x, and which one is the y-intercept? This is the y-axis, so y-intercept is this one. So what is the coordinate of that y-intercept? So f of x. So f of x, you know that f of x is the same as y, so it is ax square plus bx minus 10. Actually there is no need to write like this. How many marks? Only 1 mark, okay. So just for you to understand, otherwise you can directly write the answer, okay. So y-intercept, at y-intercept, what is the value of x? X is equal to 0. At y-intercept, value of x is 0. So substitute here, y is equal to a into 0 square plus b into 0 minus 10. This is 0. This is 0. 0 plus 0, 0. 0 minus 10 is minus 10. So it means that therefore the coordinate of this point, is there any name for that point? No name, okay. So therefore the coordinate is 0 comma y value is minus 10. So here the y value is minus 10, that is the meaning, okay, or y is equal to minus 10. That is, here you can see that point y is equal to minus 10 is the asymptote of that g of x, also one horizontal asymptote, okay, horizontal asymptote, this value of q, that is this y is equal to minus 10. That is also we got from this question, okay. So here the y-intercept of f of x, that is minus 10. That is question number 5.1. Now let's move to the next question, question number 5.2. Okay, let's move to the next question, 5.2. What is question number 5.2? Question number 5.2. Determine the coordinates of D and x-intercept of f. You have to find the coordinates of D, this point. This is the point D. That is the x-intercept of f of x graph. So there you can see that this is the parabola, okay, and this point is D, and this one is given as it is 5, okay, and what is the x value here, or what is the coordinate of D? That is a question, okay. And here this point, it is given as E 3 comma k. So it means that at this point the x value is 3. The turning point, the x value is 3. So what is the meaning of that one, guys? Here the x value is 3. Okay, so what is the name of this dotted line passing through the turning point? That is known as axis of symmetry. Do you remember that one? Okay, the line passing through the vertical line passing through the turning point, that's known as axis of symmetry. What is the meaning of axis of symmetry? It means that this distance and this distance are equal. Okay, so look at this. Here what is x value? 3. Here what is x value? 5. So what is the gap? This one, 3 plus 2 is 5. So to this side also it's supposed to be 2. That means what is the x value here? It is supposed to be 1. Okay, so x value is 1. Here x value is 1. This is the turning point. Okay, so let me draw that line here passing through the turning point. This one is the turning point. Okay, and here this one is 3. So here it means that here the x value is 1. Then 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. You understand? Okay, based on the axis of symmetry. So directly we can write the coordinate. How many marks? 2 marks. Okay, so 5.2 axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry x is equal to 3. Okay, axis of symmetry, from this value we know that the value of x is 3 on the axis of symmetry. Okay, so it implies that coordinate of D is 1, 0. That's enough, only 2 marks. Okay, so because axis of symmetry is equally divide, this distance and this distance are same. This is 2, so this one is also supposed to be 2. So 3 minus 2 is 1. So the coordinate of D is 1. Okay, so that is question number 5.2. Now let's move to the next question, question number 5.3. What is question number 5.3? Question number 5.3. Question number 5.3. What is that question? Show that the equation of f of x is equal to minus 2x squared plus 12x minus 10. Okay, you have to show that the equation is that one, f of x. Look at the question. Okay, so you know f of x is a quadratic equation. For quadratic equation in grade 10 and grade 11 you studied 3 types of formula. One is this one, ax square, the one that we know. Basically we in this question also this form. Okay, another formula last year you studied, a into x minus p the whole square plus q. Am I right? Okay, then here p and q are the turning points. Another formula is y is equal to a into x minus m into x minus n. What is this m and n stands for? The x-intercept of that parabola. So here the x-intercept we already know, it's 1 and 5. So let's use this formula. Okay, so let me write that formula. Y is equal to a into x minus m into x minus n. Okay, so I can substitute the value of m as 1 and n as 5 because the x-intercept we got the coordinate of D as 1. Okay, so substitute that one. Substitute m is equal to 1 and n is equal to 5. So we are going to substitute that one. Therefore y is equal to a into x minus 1 into x minus 5. Now we have to know what is the value of this a. Okay, then we have to expand the bracket. So here we already know another point, the y-intercept. What is the y-intercept? Minus 10. That means y-intercept x is 0. So substitute x as 0 and y as minus 10. X as 0 and y as minus 10. So in this equation we can substitute the value of x as 0 and y as minus 10. So y is equal to, that is minus 10 is equal to a into x. X is 0 minus 1 into 0 minus 5. I substitute the value of x as 0 and y as minus 10. Okay, now we have to simplify that one. So 0 minus 1 is minus 1. So minus 10 is equal to a into minus 1 into 0 minus 5 is minus 5. So minus into minus is plus. So 1 into 5 is 5. So minus 10 is equal to 5a. Minus 1 into minus 5 is 5a. So what is a from here? Divide both sides with 5. So it is minus 10 divided by 5. So it is minus 2. So it means that the value of a is minus 2. So now what you have to do? You have to substitute this value of a in this equation. Y is equal to a into x minus 1 into x minus 5. So let's substitute in that equation now. So what is that one now? Y is equal to a into, what is the value of a? We got minus 2. So minus 2 into x minus 1 into x minus 5. Now we have to expand that bracket. So y is equal to minus 2 into, first we can expand these two brackets. Okay, then we have to multiply with the minus 2. So expand the bracket. So x into x is x square, x into minus 5 is minus 5x, minus 1 into x is minus x, minus 1 into minus 5. Minus into minus is positive, 1 into 5 is 5. So that is y is equal to minus 2 into x square minus 5x minus 6. So minus 5, this is minus 1. So minus 5 minus 1 is minus 6x, then plus 5. Now we have to expand this bracket. So y is equal to minus 2 into x squared is minus 2x square, minus 2 into minus. So minus into minus is plus, 2 into 6 is 12x, minus 2 into 5. So minus into plus is minus, 2 into 5 is 10. So is it not that this we want to prove? Minus 2x square plus 12x minus 10. Can you see that? Okay, so this is question number 5.3. Now let's move to question number 5.4. Okay, okay, let's move to the next question. Question number 5.4. What is that question? Calculate the value of k. You have to find the value of k. Where is this k? K is this one, turning point E 3 comma k, and you have to find the value of this k. Okay, the y coordinate of the turning point of f. So here you have to find the value of k, where k is the y coordinate of the turning point. So what is the equation of this f of x? Previous question we got y is equal to minus 2x square plus 12x minus 10. Is it not so? Minus 2x square plus 12x minus 10. That is the equation of f of x from the previous question 5.3. Okay, now at this point, at this turning point, what is the value of x? X is 3. So we can substitute the value of x as 3 in this equation. So what is that one? Y is equal to minus 2 into 3 square, x as 3 square plus 12 into x, that is 12 into 3 minus 10. So check in your calculator. So now check in your calculator what is the answer. So in your calculator you will get 8. So y is equal to 8. Actually y stands for k. Okay? So it implies that the value of k is 8. Okay, because here we substitute the value of x as 3 and the y we got as 8. That means the value of k is 8. Okay, so that is question number 5.4. Now let's move to the next question, question number 5.5. Let's move to the next question, question number 5.5. Question number 5.5. What is that question? Determine the equation of g in the form of g of x is equal to m divided by x plus p plus q. So you have to find the equation of this g of x. That is the question. Okay. So here in this g of x, you know that this is a hyperbolic function because the variable is in the denominator, x is in the denominator. Okay. And what is this p and q stands for? P and q are the asymptotes. Okay. So here look at our graph. This is g of x and the other part of g of x is here. Can you see that this is also g of x? This is also a part of this one. Okay. So in this g of x graph, which one is the asymptote? This is the asymptote. This is one asymptote, that is minus 10, and this is another asymptote, that is 5. Okay. So vertical asymptote is 5. So how can you write g of x is equal to m over x? Here it is vertical asymptote is 5, positive 5. So what you are supposed to write here? Minus 5. When here it is minus 5, then only here you have to write the positive 5 as asymptote. Okay. So here the asymptote is positive 5. So here in the equation you have to write minus 5. Then what is the horizontal asymptote? Horizontal asymptote, it is minus 10. So that is minus 10, not a plus. So the value of q is minus 10. So it is minus 10. So now we have to know the value of m. So let me write it like this. G of x is the same as y. Y is equal to m over x minus 5 minus 10. So how can you find the value of this m? We have to substitute any one point on that g of x graph. Which point you know this which point? Yeah, you know this point. This point is a point on this g of x also. Am I right? Actually that is the turning point of f of x. I agree with that one. Okay. But at the same time, that point is a point on this g of x graph. That is 3 comma k value is 8. Okay. So substitute 3 comma 8, because that point E is a point on that g of x also. So substitute y is 8. So 8 is equal to m over x minus 5, x is 3. So it is 3 minus 5 minus 10. So we have to solve this one and try to find the value of m. So minus 10 on this side, it is plus 10. So 8 plus this minus 10 on this side is plus 10. So 8 plus 10, that is 18, is equal to m divided by 3 minus 5 is minus 2. Now what is the next step? You have to cross multiply this one. So 8 into minus 2 is minus 36. So the value of m is minus 36 is equal to m, or m is equal to minus 36. So now what is the equation of g of x? Now we can write the value of m as minus 36. So therefore g of x is equal to minus 36 over x minus 5 minus 10. So this is the equation of g of x, minus 36 over x minus 5 minus 10. Okay. Substitute the value of m as minus 36. Okay. So that is question number 5.5. Now let's move to the next question, question number 5.6. Okay, let's move to the next question, question number 5.6. Question number 5.6. Calculate the y-intercept of g. So first let me write the equation of g of x once more. G of x is equal to minus 36 over x minus 5 plus, I'm sorry, minus 10, not plus 10. So minus 10. And this g of x is the same as y. So y is equal to minus 36 over x minus 5 minus 10. Now what is the question? 5.6. Calculate the y-intercept. So you know y-intercept, at y-intercept what is the x value? 0. So at y-intercept, we have to find the y-intercept. You know that the x value is 0. So substitute the x value as 0 here. So y is equal to minus 36 over x minus 5. X value is 0. So 0 minus 5 minus 10. Take your calculator, try to find the answer. This is minus 5. So minus by minus is positive. So 36 over 10 minus 5. 36 over minus 5 divided minus 10. So it is minus 2.8. Minus 2.8. So now what is a y-intercept? Therefore y-intercept is y-intercept, the x value is 0 and the y value is minus 2.8. Which one is the y-intercept? You know, we are talking about g of x, this red one. Okay, red one here, this point is minus 2.8. That is the y-intercept. Okay, you can see that this is the y-axis. So the y-intercept is minus 2.8. That is what we got here. Okay. So that is question number 5.6. Now let's move to question number 5.7. Okay, let's move to the next question. Question number 5.7. 5.7. What is that question? If H is a decreasing axis of symmetry of G, okay, determine the equation of H in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. So let me draw that graph once more here. So here you can see that this is the x-axis and this one is the y-axis, and this is one axis of, sorry, this is asymptote 5 and this is another asymptote. What is this one? Minus 10. Okay, and the graph is passing like this. Okay, and this point we got it as minus 2.8 y-intercept, previous question. Okay, now here the question is you have to find the equation of the axis of symmetry. Look at that question. If H is the decreasing axis of symmetry of G, okay, so for a, this is a hyperbolic graph g of x, okay, and for a hyperbolic graph actually there are two axis of symmetries. One is decreasing axis of symmetry and the other one is increasing axis of symmetry. Okay, so you have to understand one thing, both the axis of symmetry decreasing or increasing doesn't matter, both the axis of symmetry will pass through the intersecting point of these asymptotes. This is the intersecting point of this horizontal and vertical asymptote. Okay, so this line is known as axis of symmetry, decreasing axis of symmetry, and the general equation is y is equal to minus x plus c. And there is another axis of symmetry, we don't want that one in this question, but anyway try to understand that is also an axis of symmetry having positive gradient or increasing axis of symmetry. So in our question this is h of x, they are calling this axis of symmetry as h of x or h. Okay, and what is the equation of this h? So you know the general equation is h of x is equal to, in our case, h of x. Okay, h of x is equal to minus x plus c. That is the general equation. Okay, so this h of x is the same as y. Y is equal to minus x plus c. Now you know that both the axis of symmetries, it is passing through this intersecting point of the asymptotes. Okay, so at this point what is the y value, oh sorry, what is the x value? It is 5. At this point what is the y value? Minus 10. So it is that point, the coordinate is 5 comma minus 10. So we can substitute 5 comma minus 10 here. So substitute 5 comma minus 10 because axis of symmetry will pass through the intersecting point of the both the asymptotes. Okay, so y is equal to, y is minus 10 is equal to minus x, x is 5 plus c. So take this minus 5 to this side. So minus 10 plus 5 is equal to c. Minus 10 plus 5 is minus 5. So it means that the value of c is minus 5. So what is the equation? H of x. Now we got the value of c as minus 5. So h of x is equal to, this is h of x, minus x plus c. So it is minus x plus c. C is minus 5. So it is supposed to be minus 5 here. Minus x. We are going to substitute the value of c as minus 5 in this equation. This is the general equation. Okay. Minus x plus c. What is the value of c? Minus 5. So minus plus minus is minus. So this is the equation of h of x, or the axis of symmetry, that is decreasing. Okay. So that is question number 5.7. Now let's move to question number 5.8. Let's move to the next question, question number 5.8. What is that question? Calculate the x-intercept of g. So what is g of x? Look at the previous question, question number 5.5. We already find the equation of g of x. Do you remember that equation that we got? Minus 36 divided by x minus 5 minus 10. We got an equation like this for g of x. Okay. Now this question is, you have to find the x-intercept of this g of x. So you know, at x-intercept, what is the value of y? Y is equal to 0. So this g of x is the same as y, or let's write once more. Y is equal to minus 36 divided by x minus 5 minus 10. So substitute the value of y as 0, because we have to find the x-intercept. So 0 is equal to minus 36 divided by x minus 5 minus 10. Now we have to simplify this one and try to find the value of x. So here take this minus 10 to this side. So it is positive 10 is equal to minus 36 over x minus 5. Now what you have to do? You have to cross multiply this one. Okay. So 10 times x minus 5 is equal to minus 36. So anyway, either you have to expand the bracket or divide by both sides with the 10. Okay, let me divide both sides with the 10. Divided by 10 divided by 10. So this 10 and this 10 cancel. So what is remaining? X minus 5 is equal to, this is minus 36 over 10. I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay. Now from here, how can you find x? X is equal to, I have to take this minus 5 to the other side. So it is minus 36 over 10 plus 5. This minus 5 on the other side, it is plus 5. So take your calculator and try to find the answer. 50, 14. So it is 1.4. So you will get the answer, the value of x as in your calculator, 1.4. So what is the x-intercept now? Y is 0. X we got as 1.4. So what is the coordinate? Coordinate is 1.4 comma 0. Okay. So here you have to take your calculator and try to find the answer of this one. This is minus 3.6 plus 5. That is 1.4. Okay. So 1.4 comma 0. So x-intercept. X-intercept means what? This point. So this point, now we know that it is 1.4. That is the x-intercept. Okay. So anyway, that is question number 5.8. Now let's move to question number 5.9. Okay, let's move to the next question. Question number 5.9. 5.9. What is that question? For which values of x? That means you have to find the values of x. Okay. And what is the condition? F of x into g of x is less than or equal to 0. You have to find the values of x where f of x times g of x is less than or equal to 0. What is the meaning of less than or equal to 0? Either 0 or negative number. Okay. So two functions multiplied and the answer is negative. Okay. So it means that if you want the answer as negative, so it means either first number is positive and the second number is negative. Positive times negative is negative, or negative times positive, that is also negative. Okay, so when can you say that this f of x is positive and g of x is negative, or f of x is negative and g of x is positive? When can you say that? If a graph above x-axis it is positive, below x-axis it is negative. What I said? Above x-axis positive, below x-axis negative. So is this one above x-axis or below x-axis? Here it is below x-axis up to here. Okay, so here negative, 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 negative. Okay, negative, I mean below, above x-axis positive, that means from here positive, 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 like that, above x-axis. Okay, and here this one positive, 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 because that is above x-axis. But below this one negative, 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 negative. Can you see that? Below x-axis negative, above x-axis positive. Here negative, 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 negative. This one also negative, negative, negative. Okay, that g of x, that part is also negative because it's below x-axis. Okay, now when you multiply these two graphs, look at this one is going to this side, that is negative part. So if you multiply negative times negative, it is negative, I mean sorry, negative times negative, it is positive. Okay, so we can't take that one. Here also both the graphs negative, negative times negative is positive, but we want negative answer, we want negative answer. Okay, so it means that one graph must be above x-axis and the other graph must be below x-axis. So look at this one. Let me draw a big line here passing through this one. Okay, let me draw a big line here and here on this 1.4 also. So look at this part between this 1 and 1.4. Look at this is 1, this point is 1 and this point is 1.4. Look at that, between 1 and 1.4, one graph is negative and the other graph is positive. Can you see that? So between this x value 1 and 1.4, one is positive and the other one is negative. Below x-axis, one is below x-axis and the other graph is above x-axis. So it means that the value of x is between, is less than or equal, so between 1 and 1.4, one is negative and the other one is positive, above x-axis and below x-axis. But after 1.4, after this 1.4, what is happening? Positive, positive. Can you see that? Positive, here this is one is continuing and it is positive above x-axis. So positive, positive. Here what is happening? Negative, 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 negative. Can you see that? Okay, negative times negative is positive, positive times positive is positive, but we want negative answer. So only between 1 and 1.4, one graph is above x-axis and other graph is below x-axis. So the answer is 1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 1.4. That is the answer. So that is question number 5.9. Now let's move to the next question. Question number, okay, let's move to the next question. Question number 5.10. 5.10. What is that question? For which value of t you have to find the value of t? Okay, and what is the condition? g of x plus t is equal to 0 have one negative root. What is the condition? This equation have one negative root. So one negative root. You have to find the value of this t. You have to find the value of this t, where g of x plus t is equal to 0 have one negative root. That's a tricky question. So you have to understand something there. So listen very carefully. G of x plus t is equal to 0. Okay. So from there, what is g of x? G of x is equal to minus t. Am I right? Take this t to the other side, so it is minus t. Or we can write t is equal to minus g of x. Is it not so? G of x is minus t. So what about t? Multiply throughout with a negative. That means negative into g of x is negative g of x. Negative into negative is positive. So t is equal to minus g of x. Actually, what is this g of x? It's a function. It is y. Okay. So that is t is equal to minus y. So it means that what is this t? You have to listen very carefully, then only you will understand. This is a higher order question. Okay. So what is this t? Actually, t stands for the y value, but it is negative. Okay. So t is a function, but it is, what is that t? It's a, this g of x, the sign changed, or the y changes to negative y. That is, they call it as t. Do you understand? G of x is y. G of x is y. And now what is this one? Minus y. The sign of y change. And they call that new equation as t. Do you understand? So actually, what sign of y change means what? If the sign of y change means that is a reflection based on x-axis. Do you understand? Okay, sign of y changes to negative y, and they call this negative y as t. Okay, so sign of y change means that is a reflection. Sign of y changes to minus y. Okay, it implies that is a reflection based on which axis? If the sign of y change, that is a reflection based on x axis. Do you understand? If the sign of y change, it means that is a reflection based on the x axis. Okay, so now reflection based on x axis, which graph is that? G of x. Okay, so this is our g of x, this red one. This one is our g of x graph. Okay, so that g of x, this is g of x graph. Okay, so that g of x graph is reflected based on x-axis. This is the x-axis. Okay, so let me draw that graph here once more. Okay, this is the x-axis. Okay, now when the graph is, now the graph is here. Okay, now the graph is here. Okay, so when it is changing, reflecting based on x-axis means this part will come here and this will go upside down like here. You understand? Okay, so there will not be any change in this vertical asymptote, that is the same as 5. Okay, but this minus 10, this horizontal asymptote, when it is reflecting based on the x-axis, this minus 10, this asymptote will go here as positive 10 when it is reflecting based on the x-axis. Okay, try to understand. This horizontal asymptote minus 10 will jump from this minus 10 to this side, positive 10. Okay, and now the new graph is here. Based on the asymptote we have to draw. Okay, now the new graph is like this. I'm sorry, not there. This is the x-axis. Okay, so now this is the horizontal asymptote because of the reflection based on the x-axis. This minus 10 asymptote jump to this positive 10. Okay, now this g of x, okay, when it is reflecting based on the x-axis, it is going to down like this. Okay, so it will come here like this. Okay, and this part it will go there like that. Okay, so this part here it will come like this. You understand? Okay, so now this is the rough graph of reflection based on the x-axis. Okay, now what is the question? What is the value of t having only one negative root? Okay, so here what is this y-intercept? Minus 2.8. So what is this one? Is going to be it was minus 2.8. This is 0. Okay, so this y-intercept here, it is minus 2.8. okay, but on the reflected graph then it is going to be plus 2.8 on the reflected graph. On actual g of x graph, y-intercept is minus 2.8. So on the reflected graph, it is y-intercept is going to be positive 2.8. Okay. Now here this one is x value is 5. Now g of x is equal to g of x plus t is equal to 0, one negative root. Okay, that is the question. You have to find one negative root. So what is the value of t? So what is t stands for? T stands for the y value, is not so? T is a function. It's a negative function, but t is a function. So t stands for y value. So you have to find the y value that will give you a negative root. Negative root means x value. Okay, so actually you have to find the value of t. T stands for y. Okay, it's a function. Okay, so it's a y value. So that will give, you have to find the y value or t that will give you a negative root. So look at this one. If I take a y value here, what is my root? What is root means x value. What is my root? The x value, corresponding x value is here. This is the x value. And what is that x value? It is positive. If I take a y value here, what is the x value? Corresponding x value, it is positive. Can you see that? Okay, but if I take a y value here also, if I take a y value, what is the x value? I will get a positive x value. Sorry, to this side I will get a positive x value. Am I right? I don't want that one. They want negative root. So but if I take a y value after this 2.8, okay, y value means t. Okay, if I take a value after this 2.8, what is the x value corresponding to that one? This side it is negative. Can you see that? Okay, if I take a y value as 3, then the corresponding x value is negative. If I take a y value as 9, I will get the corresponding x value as negative. Okay, so it means that if I take a y value between 2.8 and 10, this one never cross this 10. I can't take a 10 as value. Okay, so if I take a y value or t value between 2.8 and 10, then I will get the corresponding x value as, x value means root, x value as negative. Okay, so it means that the value of t is between 10 and 2.8. We can't include this 10. That's why I didn't put this less than or equal, because 10 is asymptote, new asymptote. Okay, so if I take a value between 2.8 and 10, the corresponding solution or x value that I'm getting is negative. Okay, so the answer is between 10 and 2. Sorry, I'm supposed to write on the other way around. Okay, so I'm not supposed to write it like this, not, it is supposed to be small value first. So it is 2.8 less than or equal to t less than or less than 10. I'm supposed to write it like this. First small number, then bigger number. Okay, so the value of t is between 2.8 and 10. That is the answer. Okay, yeah, watch again. That's a tricky question. Watch again and try to understand. Okay, so t is equal to minus y, sign of y change. It means that that is a reflection based on the x-axis. So when this g of x reflected based on the x-axis, this minus 10 asymptote will jump to positive 10, and this y-intercept minus 2.8 jump to positive 2.8. So in a new shape of the graph after the reflection, based on the x-axis is this one. Then you have to check for which t value or which y value you will get only one negative root. So you can see that between 2.8 and 10, if you take any y value, you will get only one negative root. Okay, that's the answer. Okay, so guys, that's the end of this is 5.10. okay, that's the end of this question paper. So I hope you understand clearly. So keep on watching, practice maximum questions, and yeah, see you on the next lesson. Thank you. Bye.